Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Claudia, and today we're going to be calming our body with a nice stretch for the hips. We tend to collect a lot of stress and anxiety into the hips, which can build up tension and put stress onto the lower back and the spine. So it's really important to release that tension and that stress away from the body. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Claudia, and today we're going to be calming down the body with a nice stretch for the hips. The body tends to collect a lot of stress and anxiety into the hips, which can cause tension onto the lower back. So it's really important to release this tension and focus on stretching the hips to keep the hip joints nice and mobile. And when we stretch the hips, we loosen the muscles to keep the thighs and the pelvic area healthy and strong. So this is a very important part of the body to focus on. So I want you guys to come onto your sitting bones. I want you to know that I will be showing some modifications of these postures. So to support your asanas and support your body during these postures, I personally like to use my props. I love having my blocks in some different sizes and also a few different pillows. I like having a longer pillow, a regular square pillow, and also a thinner pillow. Start to roll down onto the back and let those knees here fall out to the sides. Allow the feet to meet, resting down the crown of the head to the back of the mat, and begin to sink down into that nice long spine. You can let the palms face upwards, resting down the sides of the body or opening up the heart. Reach the palms above the head, creating a diamond shape, coming into our butterfly position. Getting a nice opening onto the groin area. Letting the hips fall out, sinking deeper. Taking your first deep inhale in through the nose, down into the belly. And keeping the exhales long out through the nostrils. Beginning to let go of the body as you take 10 more deep inhales and exhales. Letting the air flow in and out through the nostrils. Keeping your mind focused on filling up the belly, noticing how it's rising. And when you exhale, you can let even more go of the body and the knees, getting a deeper opening, a wider opening into the hips. Taking 5 more breaths. Noticing how it's feeling on the outside of the hips. Two more breaths. And start to let those hands come back down the sides, using the palms to slowly, mindfully, taking your time to guide the knees back to the center of the mat, letting the feet fall down into the floor. You're going to place down the palms, take a big inhale. And as you exhale, allow the knees to fall out to the left side. Inhale, center. Exhale, right side with those knees. Getting a gentle stretch onto each side of the hip. One more round. And exhale, coming into stillness. Now you're going to remove the right foot away from the floor, flex into the right foot and place the right ankle onto the left knee and let the right knee fall out to the right side and release that foot from the flex. You can stay here pointing the right side, the right knee out to the right side, or begin shimmying the left foot closer to the left glute Release the palms, thread those palms through the right leg and interlace the palms onto the left shin. And once you get that grip, you can release back down the low back into the floor. And draw the shoulder blades down into earth, connecting the whole spine back into ground as you get an opening onto the right hip. And you might also feel a nice stretch onto that right hamstring and groin area, taking 10 full breaths. And with every exhale, try and let that lower back draw even deeper down into the floor. We're halfway through, taking 5 more breaths. Final breath deep into the belly. And exhale, release the grip from the shin and relax down the right foot, taking 2 full breaths into the belly, placing the palms onto the lower belly, filling up the belly with air. Just allowing the hips to neutralize as we continue on to the left side. Remove the left foot away from the ground, flex into the left foot and place the left ankle onto the right knee and let the left knee fall out to the left side. You can stay here, relaxing the left foot, placing down the palms, or starting to wiggle the right foot closer to the right glute and threading the palms through the left leg, interlacing the palms onto the right shin. Taking a big inhale. And exhale, sinking down the lower back, connecting your whole long spine into the ground, feeling how the lower back is rooted down if possible. And letting the shoulder blades fall into the floor, sinking and melting. Those shoulder blades really connecting that upper back and that lower back firmly into ground. We're gonna take 8 full breaths. Four more deep inhales and exhales. And exhale, release the fingertips, release down the right foot and the left foot. Keeping the knees bent, place the palms onto the lower belly, taking 2 mindful deep inhales, filling up the lower belly with air, inflating the belly as you inhale, and exhale, deflate, inhale, and exhale. Very good. Now you're gonna stretch out those legs and flex into the toes, flexing all the way from the groin down into the toes. Take a big inhale. And exhale, bend the right knee, squeeze the knee into the chest, interlace the palms onto the right knee or the right shin. Take 1 more inhale. And exhale, let that right knee fall down into the right armpit. Squeezing into that knee as you keep the breath flowing, drawing the shoulder blades down, letting the elbows squeeze down into the sides of the body, taking 5 full breaths. exhale, let go of those fingertips, stretch out the right leg, keeping the toes flexed. Take one more inhale. Exhale, bend into that left knee. Interlace the palms onto the left shin or the left knee. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale, squeezing down the left knee further down into the left armpit. Drawing those elbows close into the body, down into the floor, letting those shoulder blades fall into the mat, creating more space here at the collarbone, really drawing those shoulders down into the floor for a deeper flexion here into the left leg. Take 4 more breaths. And exhale, letting go of those fingers. Bend into the knees, place down the palms, shift the weight of the body into the elbows, coming all the way onto the sitting bones. Stretch out the legs. Now I want you to lift up that right leg and bend into the knee, placing the right heel over to the right hip. Root into the palms to allow space to bend the left knee and let the left heel come over to the right hip. Very nice. Try and keep those knees stacked and let the toes point out to the sides into our Gomugasana. If you experience lower back pain or pain in the spine, stay seated upright and you can place the palms to support your upper body. If you want to achieve an even deeper flexion of the hips and more external rotation, you can start to let the upper body fall down over those knees, keeping a slight round into the back, letting the crown of the head be heavy as you let go of the upper body, taking 7 full breaths. Four more breaths. And exhale, let that upper body come all the way back into center. Now we're gonna begin twisting the upper body over to the left side of the mat. Stretch out the right leg and bend even further into that left knee. Start to draw that chest all the way to the back of the mat. Flex into the left toes. Stretch out that right leg, keeping the toes tucked. Coming into our Kapotasana, getting a nice stretch onto that left hip. If you're experiencing any knee pain, please draw that foot closer down to the groin. If you want a more flexed hip, a deeper stretch, you can move the knee further up to the top of the mat. And now we can untuck the right toes and start to let the torso fall over that left knee. I'm gonna take 7 full breaths. Two more breaths. And exhale, press into the floor, lift away that chest. We're gonna stretch that right leg all the way to the top of the mat, stretching both legs. Now I want you to lift the left leg, bend into the left knee, place the left heel over to the right hip, push into the floor to allow the body space to bend the right knee and place the right heel over to that left hip, coming into our Gomugasana, and try and keep those knees stacked. And if you're feeling too much tension onto the hips, you can move the feet a bit closer here to the back of the mat or draw them closer to the hips to get an even deeper stretch onto the hips. You can stay seated up with a nice tall spine, using the palms to support the upper body, or draw that chest down, letting the crown of the head come down heavy into the floor. We're gonna take 7 full breaths. Taking 2 more breaths. And exhale, lifting away the upper body from the mat, starting to twist your chest over to the right side. Begin stretching out that left leg, bending that right knee all the way over to the left wrist, and twisting the torso back here to the top of the mat, flexing into the right foot. You can move the right knee closer over to the right wrist for a nice deep flexion into the right hip, or you can even keep the knee a bit further down if you're experiencing too much tension. Finding into your Kapotasana, and once you arrive, you can untuck the back toes and start to let the chest melt down over that right knee. We're gonna take 7 deep breaths into the body, falling deeper down, getting that deep stretch of the right hip, very tense, staying with the breath through the feelings that you might experience here. Keeping our mind focused on the breath. 3 more breaths. And exhale, push into the floor with the palms lifting up the chest away from the right knee. Now you're gonna tuck the left toes and lift away the hips and come back into a nice tabletop. Tuck both toes and lift the hips all the way to the sky. Now inhale, reach up the left foot. And exhale, step that foot over to the left palm, sink down the right knee. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, draw the left knee over to the left, lifting the foot up to the sky. Inhale, center. Exhale, falling a bit deeper. Inhale, center. Creating a gentle movement into that hip. Opening up. 2 more. And exhale all the way down and back into center. Now you can place the forearms into the floor and start to wiggle the left foot over to the left side. Allow the left knee to come down into the floor. Twist the body back to center into the top of the mat. Use the elbows to press away the floor. Coming into a nice half frog, taking 5 full breaths. Pressing that knee into the mat, getting an opening on the groin. 2 more breaths. And exhale, stretch out that left leg. Keep the toes tucked here and come back onto the knees. Push into the mat, into a tabletop, and lift the hips to the sky. Inhale, reach up the right foot. Exhale, step the right foot over to the right palm and move the palms over to the left side. Sink down the left knee. Take a big inhale. And exhale, sink into that right hip. Inhale, center. Exhale, sinking down, letting that foot face up to the sky. 3 more. Just a gentle movement, a gentle sink. into that hip. Final round. And exhale. You can place the forearms into the floor and start to wiggle the right foot over to the right side, flexing that right foot, letting the right knee come into the ground, using those elbows to keep the chest open, pushing the shoulder blades back, keeping the left toes untucked, pressing into the ground to open up that groin, taking 3 more breaths. And exhale, start to slide that right foot back into the back of the mat. Now we're gonna roll ourselves onto the back, coming straight up to the sitting bones. Let the feet come together and allow the knees to fall out to the sides, coming into that butterfly. Now you can stay seated up, protecting that spine if you're feeling any pain, or you can start to draw the chest down by using the palms wrapping around the feet and letting your chest fall down into the floor. Letting your head fall into the feet, rounding into the spine, getting an opening here into the hips as the knees are pointing out to the sides, taking 5 full breaths. And exhale, coming slowly back to center. Place the palms into the floor, bend those knees, keeping the feet into the ground. Place the palms so that the fingertips are facing the top of the mat. Take a big inhale. And exhale, drop the knees out to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left, using the palms to press away the floor to get a nice little twist. Lifting that hip all the way to the sky. Twisting the chest over to the sides. Final round. And back into center. Squeeze those knees into the chest, round into the spine. Take that final breath. And exhale, letting go. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this stretch for the hips and that you could use some of the modifications to help you in your practice. And I'm grateful that you decided to share your energy and your time with me today. And I hope to see you again in my future videos. So I see you guys soon. Bye!